Hello, this is Daniel Johnson, and this is my organizational design, structure, and change presentation. Identification of the issue. The company that we will be focusing on is Netflix, the video streaming company. The dimension that Netflix is failing in is long-term investment value. Ramifications and consequences. There has been a subsequent decline in subscribers for the first time in Netflix's history. Netflix investors are still reeling after the tech-heavy NASDAQ Composite Index posted its worst month since 2008. The stock, once a big winner from the pandemic, is down roughly 75% from its November peak, and its once 300 billion market cap now sits south of 80 billion. Organizational structure. Netflix's organizational structure is hierarchical, but with modifications that account for business flexibility and responsiveness to global market changes. Netflix has a U-form or unitary organizational structure that involves a hierarchy for maintaining executive control and direction throughout the organization. However, this corporate structure is relatively flat compared to many businesses that have a hierarchical organization architecture. For example, in Netflix's organizational chart, all the main business executives directly report to the CEO. This organizational structure design reduces the management levels needed to escalate issues from the online company's bottom line towards organizational headquarters. The following are the main characteristics of Netflix's corporate structure: functional groups for online and non-online operations, geographical divisions for managing regional markets, and divisions for various product types and operation types. Netflix's organization is a structural framework that prioritizes executive control from the company's headquarters. This is evident in the unitary form of the corporate structure. The online business ensures flexibility based on the flatness of this organizational structure. In addition, with geographical divisions, Netflix achieves marketing effectiveness through its organizational design. Next, we will look at organization culture. Organizational culture is essential to organizational performance. Not only does it influence the decisions and behaviors of employees, but it also explains what is happening in an organization and why it's happening. Netflix's corporate culture is based on a core philosophy that prioritizes people. The corporation addresses the needs of its human resources to ensure that its online business processes are effective and profitable. This organizational culture contributes to the streaming company's employee morale, effectiveness, and overall human resource development. The following are the main traits that characterize Netflix's corporate culture: independent decision-making. Independent decision-making aligns with Netflix's people over process approach to its organizational culture. Open, broad, and deliberate information sharing. Open, broad, and deliberate information sharing is an aspect of Netflix corporate culture that relates to communication effectiveness. Extraordinary candidness is an organizational culture trait that encourages Netflix's employees to maintain an overall attitude of sincerity and objectiveness. Focus on high effectiveness leads Netflix to emphasize high productivity and job effectiveness through programs related to the corporate culture. Rule avoidance makes Netflix corporate culture sort of unusual. This cultural trait is based on the idea that rules lead to online business rigidity, which reduces responsiveness to market changes. Embodiment of conscious capitalism. The first principle is conscious leadership. Conscious leaders are the ones who inspire loyalty and consistent high performance in their teams. Netflix leadership has inspired a consistent high performance from their teams, so they embody this principle. The second principle is stakeholder orientation. Conscious leaders know the importance of taking into account all their stakeholders. This principle might not be fully embodied by Netflix. Over the last couple of months, Netflix has floated around the idea of introducing ad-supported tiers designed to reduce the blow from its latest price hikes, while also publicly acknowledging its intentions to crack down on password sharing outside a household. Neither idea seems popular, especially limits on password sharing, something that could affect college students and other users temporarily living away from home. And yet the company sees them as the best way to boost subscriber numbers in the short term. Conscious culture. When a culture is not defined and enforced, your people aren't moving in the same direction. Netflix hires people that fit their values and culture, and their intention about how people act and perform. Higher purpose, the company should be in business to do more than just make money. Though Netflix does operate and get involved with some charities and social issues, it is not enough to clearly state that they embody a higher purpose. Let us next look at the improvement plan that will sort of be brought upon to see if it can fix the long-term stakeholder stock value. One is create a sense of urgency, come up with a bold statement for change, an innovation, no statement. The second one, building and guiding coalition, creating a volunteer army with effective people from within the company to guide it, coordinate it, and communicate all the activities, form a strategic vision and initiatives, clearly state how the company moving forward will be different from the way it was moving in the past, enlist a volunteer army, get everyone or as much volunteers as possible from the company to be able to rally around this certain vision and identity that the company wants to go moving forward, enable action by removing barriers. So this is basically removing barriers and inefficient hierarchies and sort of provide employees freedom to work across silos to generate real impact, generate short-term wins are molecules of results. And so they must be recognized and communicated early and often to track the progress and to energize. Also, the last two are sustain acceleration, press harder after the first success. So that way your increasing credibility can improve systems and structures and policies. And finally, institute change, articulate the connections between new behaviors and organizational success, making sure they continue until they become strong enough to replace old habits. Here are some of the challenges that those steps previously mentioned might face. The two main challenges are with steps 2, 3, and 4. The issue with step 3 is that it will be difficult to produce an innovative strategy in such a competitive market. As of now, the only strategy in place would be to promote quality Netflix originals that will bring in more subscribers. The issue with step 4 and can also affect 2 is that there is loss of talent. Netflix losing its high quality employees to their competitors. They're losing IT research and development, creators, people who are coming up with the content to create television shows or movies. They're going across these other subscription platforms, and therefore it will be difficult to come up with an effective team and a volunteer army to be able to attack these issues and implement a change that is necessary. Some of the strategies for leading teams and to get collaboration. The first one is secure top management support. The support of top management is essential to the success of any change effort. Encourage participation. The support of top management is essential to the success of any change effort. Encourage participation. Employees who contribute to the change in any way need to be rewarded. Foster open communication. Open communication is an important factor in managing resistance to change and overcoming information control problems during transitions. Reward contributors. Problems related to resistance, control, and power can be overcome by broad participation in planning the change. Finally, lessons learned. It is very important going forward with Netflix to be able to find a good strategic and initiative strategy that many in its own company can get behind, and moving forward, it will be possible to go through the 8 steps mentioned before, unless a clear strategy that can be identified with the rest of its employees can be found. It will be difficult for Netflix to take back the spot that many of the other streaming services are taking away from them. Thank you, and that is my presentation.